Welcome to Release Your Potential Now with Jane, your weekly dose of energy, wisdom, and healing, where we explore how energy shapes your life and how you can shift it to thrive in every area physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Each week, we'll dive into practical tools, real-world examples, and quantum energy perspectives to help you stay positive, navigate challenges, and reclaim your personal power. Whether you're dealing with stress, seeking balance, or curious about the energetic world around you, this is your space for insight, growth, and transformation.
Well, welcome everybody to Release Your Potential Now with Jane. I'm your host, Jane Phillips. I'm a medical intuitive, a psychic medium, and I also do energy clearing of spaces and houses and properties and people all around the world. And I'm here to help you go from if you're stuck to maybe being unstuck so you can reclaim your energy, shift your mindset, and let your light shine. So today's episode is one of my favorite ones to talk about, is especially for my fellow empaths out there. So an empath, if you don't know what that is, it is somebody who has been labeled probably by others before you figured it out as sensitive. You pick up other people's emotions. You can tell if a room doesn't feel very good. You might walk into a meeting and you know something just happened because the energy is just hanging in the air. Something's off. So you have a special gift, and so you can pick things up, but you can also hang on to things. And it's not really fun if you're picking up information and then you're getting overloaded. And that's why we're talking today about empaths. So a little story for you about me, and probably this has happened to you. And this story is because I'm going to give you a tool, and the tool saved my butt, saved my life. But I didn't find the tool until I was in my late 50s. So better late than never. So if you're wondering why you feel everything and it's too much, and you're wondering why are you exhausted all the time, even though you're getting enough sleep, or other things like that, or you're crying. I spent last month in March crying all the time, and I figured out some things that were related to me, but most of it was related to world events and that I would get a layer off and then the next thing would crop up. So you might be, as I was, in empath overload. And we're going to talk about how to recognize it and what to do about it. So I've got some tools. So let me talk about my little experience, because maybe that's happened to you. I used to, when I was married, I was doing this before married, but I was more aware of it when I was married. I would go to a funeral of the wife of my husband's partner. And I never met her, and I would be a wreck throughout the whole funeral. Or I'd go to a wedding of somebody that I didn't know very well, but again, I was being taken along, and I would be a wreck. I would be crying the whole time, and my husband would kept looking at me like, why can't you bring Kleenex? Because I was always borrowing his hanky. So it was really annoying, because especially at funerals, after the funeral, and you're going to have coffee and something to eat, and I'm just a wreck, and everyone's coming up to me and saying, oh, gosh, how long were you friends? How long have you known her? And I'd have to cover up because I didn't know that person at all. I couldn't even describe her, but I was a wreck. So I want to talk a little bit. We're going to give you a tool on that saved my life. And you deserve to have it too. So for empath overload, as I mentioned before, empaths are highly sensitive to the emotions and energies and even physical pain of others. I can pick up somebody's headache if they've got it when I'm in a session with somebody, and I'll know that it means something. So it helps me a lot in my energy and medical intuitive work because I can pick up that something's important for somebody and figure out what we want to do about it. So we naturally tune in as empaths without really meaning to. And while sensitivity can be a gift, it certainly is for my business, it becomes a burden when we don't have healthy energetic boundaries or don't know how to get rid of the energies that have landed upon us, given us the information, and then they're still there 2 days later. So empath overload happens when we've absorbed too much emotional debris from other people. And then we start feeling emotionally drained. We're anxious for no reason whatsoever. We're irritable, sad. We're overwhelmed and physically tired, even with enough sleep. And we have enough going on in the United States and on the planet right now that it would be easy for you as an empath, if that's you, to pick up some energies that are affecting you. And you might notice that you tend to avoid crowds or social gatherings or feel uneasy in certain places without knowing why. And I'm enough of an introvert, even though I'm doing this podcast, that I tend to stay out of crowds and social gatherings too, because it overwhelms my system. So if that sounds familiar to you, or you know somebody that is reactive this way, this is a podcast that you can have them watch so they get some information on what to do about it. And it also, hopefully, if you're not the person that picks up everything, but you're watching, that you can have more empathy for these people, for all of us that actually can feel all these other energies. So in these cases, what you're feeling isn't always yours, as we now know. It's the energetic residue of people or spaces around you. So because energy, this is my world where I work, is contagious. And we can pick up energies from going out to a restaurant, from talking to a friend. There are all sorts of different ways we can pick up energies. The same way we can pick up dirt by walking on the ground, or a windy day, you can pick up energy that's dirt type of energy. So as empaths, we unconsciously match or mirror frequencies. So, and it can look like absorbing a friend's sadness right after a phone call, or feeling anxious in a room where someone was recently upset, or getting a headache in a tense office meeting if you're in those. And it's especially true if you, or maybe it's your friend, has emotional ties to the people that are around them. And then when we're not clear in our own energy, then we pick this up. So think of yourself like a sponge. And this is an analogy I was given. It's not perfect, but if you're not wrung out, if you're the sponge and you've absorbed all this stuff, you're going to not have capacity to soak up more. You'll keep trying to, but it's just going to make you more uncomfortable. So what I'm going to talk to you about is how to learn to clear and protect your energy so you're not carrying what isn't yours. So I've got some techniques, some that I had to research a little bit, but the first one I'm going to talk about is the one that saved my life, basically, so that I could go into social gatherings way more comfortably. And so this one is an empath release tool, but I can't think of a better thing to call it, so I'm calling it the energy hand sweep. So if you're one of those people that picks up energies from places and other people that aren't yours, or you know somebody that's there, the first thing that I learned in finally about what to do about this was in my late 50s, and I was at a psychic meeting and somebody was talking. I was taking classes in Minnesota, and the gentleman in front, he said, well, this is how you get rid of excess energy. And so I'm going to share it with you because it was a game changer. So think of this is my left hand, and you just imagine that the energy that's coming into you, your left hand is often considered your receiving side. So if you're getting energy or you're feeling all of a sudden off or headache or whatever, you can stop the flow by consciously closing your hand, and I drop it down to my side. I'm not trying to do it in front of people. I'm trying to be kind of sneaky about it. So you close your hand and drop it down to your side, and you consciously say that you're not going to receive any more energy from wherever it's coming. You're basically asking to block it. So saying no to that energy. And then you take your right hand, which is my right hand, and you drop your hand down to your side toward the ground, and you visualize that energy being released through your body. I see it as a flow, like water flowing out or whatever. You open your right hand and point it toward the earth or the ground. When I'm sitting in a pew, and it's a funeral, and I'm starting to cry, I will close this hand, I will open this, I will drop it to the side and say, I release all energy that isn't mine, and I return it to source for healing. If you can't remember the languaging, don't worry about that. You just ask consciously to release anything that is not yours to go into the planet and the earth. The first time I tried that was the first time in years that I didn't need a handkerchief at a funeral. I tried it at a wedding, same thing. It was a game changer. I now could go to some of these social events, and not that a funeral is a social event, but it is afterwards. But I could go to some of these things. It works for movies. It works for somebody giving you really bad news and you're really hit and shocked by it. You can still do this. It will mitigate it. And it worked for me. It started to work. Then I thought, well, I'll share it with some of my friends and clients, and it worked for them too. Close your left hand, drop it to your side, and basically in your mind say, I'm not receiving any more of this energy. And then you're basically going to unload it from your body by taking your right hand and dropping it down and just letting everything flow out. The nice thing about this is you can be sneaky. So nobody's going to see if you're at a dining table with somebody and you get upset by something, or you're picking up someone's energy. Maybe they're really emotional, and maybe they're really angry. You can do this and this, drop your hands to the side, maybe put your fork down for a minute, and just ask this energy flow out. Nobody's really going to notice. It's slick. And sometimes you're going to have situations where you're not aware that the energy is yours. You just know you're off. You can still do this trick. So it puts you into overwhelm. And sometimes just acknowledging, oh, this isn't mine, then you can release it. Another option is just to get more grounded outside. And next week is World Earth Day on the 22nd. And so I'm going to be talking more about what grounding is, which is basically getting in touch with the planet better so that you can recover from these energetic overloads that are happening. So you can picture yourself standing on the earth. You can go out and stand on the earth. You can surround yourself with light. I have some other things we'll talk about later in the month about how to protect yourself, and that'll be the 5th on the 29th. We'll be doing that. So you can picture a bubble of light around your body, and consciously ask that the energies that you're absorbing return to their source. Another thing is, this is more a physical thing to do versus energetic, but if you like to take baths, you can have your water cleanse your energy field. And if you want to take a bath, you can add Epsom salt and maybe some lavender drops for emotional release, and visualize that everything that's not yours is going out into the water and then washing down the drain. So Epsom salts is a lovely way, and it's really soothing to get rid of things. And we'll talk more about what you can do on a regular basis so you're not constantly picking things up. Further on down in these podcasts, I've got a couple more to do, and we will talk about how to keep yourself protected and in the last one, what you can do to remove some of these emotional energies in a different way if it's a bigger issue than just the emotion. So when you learn to clear what's not yours and stay grounded, then life becomes more peaceful and manageable. So one of the things that happens is when you're feeling so much, there's a tendency for a lot of empaths to overgive. And I know that's my tendency with my clients. My sessions sometimes run a little bit longer because I want to find a good stopping place, and I can sense that we're not quite done. So you can stop overgiving, you can stop reacting to other people's chaos as though you maybe need to fix it. You don't. So then you can show up in a situation powerful, with clarity, calm, and confidence. So you'll feel a lot lighter on your feet, and it's just going to be a much better experience for you and for your friends. So next, this is all I'm going to cover today. It's kind of shorter, but I want, as an empath, if you didn't know you were an empath, you now are. Now you know. And if you need assistance with releasing some of this stuck stuff, or needing a little more assistance on how to be able to manage the sensitivities that you have, you can book a 20-minute session to see if I'd be a fit for you. I help people a lot with this, and you can go to janecphillips.com or JCP as in Peter at Geyser, GEYSERLLC.com, and reach out to me to see if you think I can help, and we can talk about it. This is what I do besides the energy clearing, and I really would love to help you if this is something you need some assistance with. So thank you so much for joining me today on Release Your Potential Now. If today's episode spoke to your heart, or you need help feeling a little less alone, as I said before, share it with somebody else who needs this message. There are so many people out there that don't identify themselves as empaths and just think they're too sensitive, they're weird, whatever, and the things that I've certainly thought. So share this episode because it's short, and it gives some tools that you or they can try. So next week, we're celebrating World Earth Day. That's the 22nd. And I'll be talking about how to connect to the grounding and healing power of the earth, whether it's energy clearing through nature, or simply putting your feet in the grass, or earth energy, or echo intuition, which is just intuition around the ecological environment we're in. And earth energy is one of the most powerful tools for stress release and energetic restoration. This month is National Stress Awareness Month. So my focus this month has been to cover some of the things that stress you and I, and offer some tools to get you through it. And this one was about our empaths. So next week is World Earth Day. So don't miss next week. There's some really good tools around working with nature, and that you will find helpful. And I've also got a couple of people that I follow that have created some things called earthing mats that you can actually be able to sort of walk barefoot or lay on the grass in your house in a safe way. So until then, remember, you have the power to shift your energy with some of the tools I'm giving you and release what's not yours. So let your light shine in the world. Let me help you and assist you in having some tools to be unstuck. And take care of your energy. Do some of these, figure out which of these techniques, if any, will be helpful, and take care of you. And we'll see you next week. Thank you. I'm Jane Phillips.
You've been listening to Release Your Potential Now with Jane, your weekly dose of energy wisdom and healing. Tune in on Transformation Talk Radio to unlock the power of energy healing and transform your life one insight at a time. Share this episode with a friend who's feeling stuck and might benefit from a little extra support on their journey. Together, we can create a ripple effect of healing and positivity, empowering individuals to live healthier, more joyful lives. Are you ready to gain control of your life and health? Then visit janecphillips.com to book a session, join a workshop, or explore how energy wisdom can help you heal and thrive.